What is going on, my party people? I bet you thought you wouldn't see me today, right? Here I am. All right. Give me a second. Let me fix my headphones. Uh, all right. Here we go on the way to the store. So, ooh, no, we don't want to do that. I want to get that out the camera. Redbeard, what's going on, my friend? Glad you stopped by. So, as you see in the title, just chatting the return of Big Evil. So, a lot of people who know me personally in real life that's been around me or whatever understand why I got this tattoo. So, here's the thing, right? As a kid, I was bullied a lot. As a kid, I was bullied a lot. You wouldn't believe it, right? But I was. So, to a lot of people, right? This whole big evil thing is a persona, if you will. It's really not. Here's the thing, right? The name Big Evil came from how I started to look at things, how I started to process things, how I started to act, right? So for anyone that's met me, that knows me, that has my it's my script, that has spoken to me and gotten to know me, they'll know that I am a pretty nice guy. Wow, you can see a lot from this angle. I don't like this angle. Um, they know I'm a pretty nice guy, but wasn't always such a nice guy. So, like I said, I was bullied a lot as a child for various different reasons. I was quiet. I wasn't social. I wasn't. I don't know the correct word, but I wasn't outgoing, right? So, the thing about it is simply this: I've always had something in me that liked to fight, right? But at some point in time, it's gotten to the point where appreciate the bits, Redbeard. It's gotten to the point where, you know, something had to be done, right? Because, I mean, between me getting bullied and me having a love for fighting, something wasn't going to end good. So, the very last fight that I had, a kid went deaf. You know, I think I expressed this in one of my other videos. A kid lost his hearing. And then I was actually a lot fatter than I am now. So people just started calling me Big Evil. And I had that name going from, I want to say 99. Um, Give me 1 second. Let me fix that because that needs to be fixed. Give me 1 second. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, I was dubbed Big Evil from I want to say it started in 99, right? So from then on, I just embraced it, right? So what happened was Trey Lamb, what's going on? What happened was it became me, right? I was no longer me. I was Big Evil, right? So Big Evil spawned and took a life of his own. Like I went into unwilling, I might add, I went into what you would call the protection business, right? So other people that got bullied would come to me and offer me money to either beat up the people that was bullying them, or to protect them from the bully. Needless to say, word got around quick, and yeah, your boy was making kind of some good money in junior high school and high school. But that's not the point. The point is simply this, right? There's people that think that Big Evil is something for me to cope with life, or Big Evil is a personality, if you will, that I could just switch on and switch off and all this other shit, right? It's not. It's a totally different mind frame I'm in when people call me Big Evil, right? The mind frame is simply this: if you're with me, you're with me. If you're against me, I really feel sorry for you. And I haven't thought like that in such a long, long time, because I don't like when I think like that, because it takes very, very little for me to feel like someone's against me when I'm in that mind frame, right? So basically, like I said in my previous videos, there's people I'll go to war for without a problem. The issue with my Big Evil mind frame is it doesn't take much for me to want to go to war. So any one of the people, yeah, I hope your wife feels better too, Redbeard. Any of the people that I consider in my inner circle that I'm close with can tell me the dumbest shit, the pettiest shit, and I'm ready to go to war. It's just how it is, right? My tongue gets sharper, my views on situations change, my perception of everything changes. And it's not something that happens because I want it to. It's just the fact that it happens because I'm in that certain mindset that people see me as a totally different person, which I'm really not. It's just the whole niceness thing that I let go to a certain point is cut by like 2/3, right? So fast forwarding to later years after school, before I kicked that attitude, um, it led into family life, right? So everyone knows, if they caught the video with my brother when we was talking about family, excuse me, everyone knows that he was more of the runner for the family to do the errands, and I was more of the protector and the person that got things done when they didn't want to do it, right? So here's the thing: upon this Big Evil persona, if you want to call it that, a lot of turmoil happened between me and the family. It was more so I was out for my mom and my sister rather than family, right? Because my mom and my sister was the only one that held me down, that had my back, that pretty much wouldn't sell me up the river for $10. Right? So, story time. And I know Redbeard, you're usually pretty honest with me. So if you get through this whole story, I want your opinion and tell me if I was wrong for it. Okay. So story time. So my aunt or whatever, my aunt, I use that term loosely. She calls my mom. Hey, I don't get my public assistance until whatever date it was. It was 2 weeks out, right? So my mom says, well, I don't get paid till Thursday. Can you wait till Thursday? Well, I only have rice and bread and milk. Um, I guess I can make do with that until Thursday. So she proceeds to say, hey, do you think you can lend, we're just going to call her Jean. Do you think you can lend Jean $20 until I get paid on Thursday and I'll pay you back? I said, hell no. Jean owes me $70 from 3 months ago. Well, yeah, I'm the one paying you back. I just don't have the cash right now. I said, okay. Well, then she can't have what would I have until my $70 gets put in my hand by her or one of her kids. I'm not giving her no more money. Okay. So of course that made my mom upset because that's her sister. She loves her and everything else and blah blah blah. So that sparked a little argument. I would never really argue with my mom, right? It would just be, me putting my point across, and then I'll let her say whatever the hell she want to say. It is what it is at that point. So Jean takes it upon herself to call me personally on my phone. What's the problem with you helping me out and blah 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 and yada yada yada? Like I said, I had the utmost respect for my mom. Didn't didn't curse her out in the house. Actually went to her house personally. Right? Showed up to her door. She opened the door. Read her the riot act. So then her baby's father, which we still took as an uncle, whatever, he happened to be there. He was like, "Who you think you talking to?" Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Now the mind frame I'm in, right? People who know me as me knows that I'm willing to talk out any situation before it becomes physical. But the mind frame I was in, I listened to tones, right? So he came out the back. Who you think you talking to? He walked up on me. Second he walked up on me, I just unloaded on him, right? So my aunt's jumping on me, saying, "Stop, get off him, get off him, get off him, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." So she calls the cops. I'm sitting there waiting for the cops, right? So she's like, "Yeah, he tried to kill my baby daddy, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." So cops like, "What happened?" Boom boom boom. So I'm like, "Listen, I was having a heated discussion with my aunt. He came out the back. He walked up on me. I felt threatened. So it was gonna be me and him, and I chose him. That's what happened. So the cops made me leave. 3 days later, my aunt says, "Oh, I'm coming over." I said, "No, the hell you're not." My mom may have been okay with it, but I'm not. So she came over. She tried to get in, whatever. Pushed her ass right back out the house with her kids. Now, mind you, her kids wasn't babies. I think her oldest was 9, and then the one right behind her was 6, and then the youngest one was 5. So they wasn't babies. So pushed them out. They went home. My mom calls me. Why you not let them in the house? Because she tried to lock me up, and we not going out like that, right? So fast forward to 2 months later, she tries to come to my house again without permission, without asking, without announcing. So I was home. I had my music playing. They knew I was home. Knock, 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 knock. Sat right there listening to my music. They knocked for an hour. Didn't let them in. So I was all types of bastards and ungrateful, and I'm gonna end up in jail, and I'm never gonna amount to anything, and I'm a piece of shit, and blah blah blah, and yada yada yada. But then her oldest daughter runs her mouth in school. They say on this day after school, we're gonna jump your ass. Guess who the aunt calls? I know you're not talking to me, but can you just please come with me to her school because they're gonna jump her and I don't know what to do. I don't have no one else to call, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Right? Cool. Go to the school without my aunt. Go to the school without my aunt. Handle the situation. Talk to the principal. Straight up. Listen, anyone put their hands on my cousin, you already know what time it is. You know my family. You know what we do. You know who my brother is. You know what he's into. You know what I'm into. Anyone touch him, it's gonna be a bad day. Handle that, leave. Calls my mom. Oh, he never showed up, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Boom, boom, boom. Have my mom call the principal. Yeah, I spoke to your son. We had a very productive conversation. Again, why I don't fuck with my family? This is why I don't fuck with my family. Because my family do not see me as family. I'm a protector. I'm a problem solver. I'm money. So I don't fuck with my family. And a lot of people say, oh, that's still fucked up. That's still family. Like, you only get one family. Bullshit. You get as many families as you choose. Blood don't make you family. So, now my question to chat, Redbeard, whoever wants the answer. I don't feel I'm wrong for distancing myself from so called family because family's never done nothing for me. I've been doing all the doing and haven't been getting none of the giving, right? So people say I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. My cousin just tried to add me on Snapchat a few weeks ago. I blocked her. Don't know how she found that Snapchat account. Don't care how she found it. She requested me. I blocked her. People said I'm wrong. She was trying to extend the olive branch. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it. I have no desire for it. All I care about is me and my son and those that's with me genuinely. If you can't fuck with me genuinely, I don't need you. I don't want you. And a lot of people say, oh, well, it seems like when things get too much, you revert back to this. Or when you're in situations that you don't have the answers to, you revert back to this. I think, first off, you're not wrong for distancing yourself. Second, it sounds like that one dude just chose violence and got curbs on. Yep, 100%. 100%. And the thing that got me with him was he was he is my uncle. Like, he knew me since I was young. He knows my temper is crazy. He knows when that switch flips, it's hard to turn it back off. So why he decided to approach me the way he did, the world may never know. But like I said before, I'm the nicest guy in the world, even in my big evil mind frame. I'm the nicest guy in the world, right? The only difference between me and big evil me is I tell you one time, hey, listen, that's not the road you want to take. Back it up, try it again. One time. You don't take that advice, that's on you. That's not on me. I already told you. Back it up, start it over. And it's not just in my personal life. It's professional too, right? So everyone knows as a general manager, you're responsible for everything in your building. including your crew, right? So if I'm getting yelled at by my boss for shit that they're doing, why do they seem it fit for me not to yell at them for me getting yelled at for what they're doing? Makes no sense to me. My dad used to always tell me that family, you need to help out. I would tell him, no, that's how that works. You want to be family, you need to show respect and not just treat me as a doormat, ATM, whatever. Exactly. VR Puppy, thank you for stopping by. So, the thing about me is simply this, right? Nah, I didn't get a message from you, Redbeard. So, the thing about me is this, right? I'm the nicest guy in the world, right? Will give you the shirt off my back. That's a lot of guac. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you for chatting. How are you? I'm the nicest guy in the world. I'll give you the shirt off my back if you needed it, right? But once I feel like you're using me or I've been betrayed by you, I'm a different type of person. And I feel like a lot of people are afraid. I feel like a lot of people are afraid. But so many issues. My immediate family over the years. It's insane. My mom's. Holy shit. Damn, that's crazy. I'm good, Guac. Just here doing a little story time, doing a little bit of chatting, trying to spread some positivity in a reverse kind of way. But hang in there with me. You'll see the positivity in a minute. So people are afraid nowadays to stand up for themselves, right? People allow other people to make them feel guilty for saying no. And I was one of those people for a very long time. It was hard for me to say no. And if I did say no, I would be guilted into saying yes, right? Everyone has the option of saying no. It is no one's place to try and guilt you or to make you feel bad because you do not want to help someone else, right? And from my 36 years of living on this earth, I've watched two qualities in the human, I don't want to say race because I'm just going to say us as humans in the last 2 years, in the last 36 years, I'm going to say I've watched two qualities diminish from humans year by year, month by month, week by week, sometimes even day by day. I have it tatted on my hand because I go by it. For those of you who don't know what my hand says, it says trust and loyalty. As I live 36 years of my life, I have watched brothers backstab brothers, sisters backstab sisters, friends lie on each other, boyfriends steal best friends' girlfriends, girlfriends steal best friends' boyfriends. You should never be guilted into doing something you don't want to do. Why is it when it comes to family, forced into doing something to help them, it's expected, but with a stranger, it's considered dangerous? 100% right. At the end of the day, we're all people. It doesn't matter if we're blood or if we're strangers, because let me tell you something. If you sit and do research, right, and just go by the statistics, almost 87.4% of crimes is between family members. I'm talking about violent crimes, murder, robbery, kidnapping, battery. It's either family or couples, right? 86.4%. So, with those statistics, you're better off helping a stranger or being around a stranger, right? There's people that are so nice in this world that even if they don't want to do something, they'll say yes because it'll eat them alive inside for them saying no. I was kind of one of those people, and I'm here to tell you people will eat you up alive once they see you have that quality in you. It's okay to say no, it's okay to stand up for yourself. And for all the people in the world that says, hey, my mom doesn't understand me, my dad doesn't understand me, my family doesn't understand me, this person doesn't understand me, guess what? You don't need them to understand you. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people will say, well, how can he say that? Like everyone needs someone to talk to. Yes, everyone needs someone to talk to. I agree with that 100%. But you do not need acceptance or understanding from so called family. If you can't go to your family and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, and they don't sit down and say, hey, well, why did you start feeling like this? Why did you start thinking like this? Help me understand what got you to this point. Anything other than that will tell you right then and there their family by paper, not by blood. A family, in my eyes, is going to be there for each other, however way they can. It doesn't necessarily have to be financially. It doesn't have to be physically, right? You could just need someone to talk to. Family outside of your wife and kid, in most cases, only has your back when they find it easier to put a knife in it. Yep, 100%. 100%. And from my experience, people that I've met and I've become close to has been more of a family than my actual family. Now, for those that don't know, Guac and whoever else is lurking, I've known Redbeard for a little while now. We have not met in person yet. We have not met in person at all, right? Same thing for Traylon. We have not met in person. But there is nothing I cannot contact them for advice, someone to talk to, just checking on them, whatever, and vice versa for them, right? They're more family to me than my actual family outside of my son, right? So basically, I said that to say this: you can create a family with anyone as long as the bond, the understanding, the loyalty, and the trust is there. Those are the only four things you need for family. They don't have to be blood related. They don't even have to be related at all. As long as you can bond with them, the loyalty, the trust, and what was the fourth thing I said? It'll come back to me. Family is just a concept to signify how you place people in your lives. Well, since it's just a concept, you can add whoever the fuck you want as long as they are willing to accept you on who you are and what you stand for. Exactly. And I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit, Redbeard. Even if you don't necessarily agree with everything someone stands for, that's okay. It's all right to have a difference of an opinion. It's how you handle the difference is what matters. You can, excuse me, still getting over cold. You can have a difference of an opinion and be respectful about it, right? Hell, it could even open up a whole new dialogue of a different conversation. But to demean someone or put someone down because they have a difference of an opinion, that's not cool. That's not family. That's not even friendship right there. And the fact of the matter is simply this, right? I've seen a lot of people call people friends and they say something, and the first thing they say to that person is, wow, you're stupid. And it's not like they're joking, like, oh my God, you're stupid. Like, no, they literally look at them, wow, you're stupid. Did you just say that? And I'm looking like, aren't y'all friends? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I mean, I go to Redbeard all the time and I'm like, hey, check this post, check that post. Tell me what you think about it. Or I say, hey, listen, I have this idea. What do you think about it? If he don't like it, he'll be like, hey, I don't like it, and this is why I don't like it. And if I agree with him, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that. If I don't agree with him, I'll be like, yeah, I thought of that, but you know, I think it's worth the risk. And it opens up a conversation. It opens up a dialogue for conversation, right? There's never been a time I went to Redbeard and I say, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, bro, that's fucking stupid. Why would you even let me read that? Like, that's fucking dumb. Exactly. Having differences of opinion about things is what make us unique. One of my best friends I worked with, almost 180 degrees different from me, but we still connected and had a bond. People just don't understand that you can disagree with someone and still be cool with them. You don't do it with your family. Why not with each other? Others as humans or friends. That's true. But then that word friends, right? A lot of people is losing the meaning of that word. Now, Guac, I don't know how old you are, where you're from, or if you can relate to any of this. I hope you can. I hope I'm helping you with, you know, something you may or may not be going through or something you may or may not have experienced in your life yet. But as far as the word friends, people look at me like I'm crazy when I said I use that word friends very selectively. I have a lot of acquaintances and associates, but I use the word friends very selective. And I know friends is just a title, right? But once you give someone a title, they ultimately becomes part of a circle. Maybe not your inner circle, but nonetheless the circle. And I personally feel like once you give that title, most people feel like they're entitled to do and say certain things that they normally wouldn't say before you use that word, right? So, what I feel is people will say, hey, that's my friend. Hey, that's my friend. Hey, that's my friend. And then they do some fucked up shit and they like, yeah, that's not my friend. I don't know what I was thinking. Like for Redbeard and Traylon, they know kind of what I'm going through personally, so I'm gonna use her as an example. She will go out and meet somebody. Night two, they're friends. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, didn't you just meet this person? Like, how are y'all friends already? Like, what's going on with that? Oh yeah, they're cool, blah blah blah. I got their number. We've been texting, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. And what do you know? 3 to 6 weeks later, oh, I don't talk to them no more. They grind me. But that was your friend. No, they just pretended, and I don't got time for it. Hey, I got my first international viewer from Turkey. How's it going, Bora Kaya? I appreciate you. So my thing about it is simply this: it takes more than meeting somebody and having a conversation or two to be called a friend. And I see a lot of people getting taken advantage of. One of my pet peeves And Redbeard can attest to this because he's seen me get upset about situations that I had nothing to do with at all. But because I seen someone getting taken advantage of, it pissed me off that much. My pet peeve is people taking advantage of a person or a situation. That is my biggest pet peeve. And I'll tell you why, right? What is the point of taking advantage of a person, right? I don't mean to sound like an asshole when I say this, but when you're taking advantage of a person, that means either they're not as strong of a thinker as you are, or they're way more weak willed than you are. So you're exploiting someone's shortcomings for your personal gain. For what reason? What reason do you have to take an advantage over someone? And it's not just monetary advantage that I'm talking about. It can be monetary, it can be emotional, it could be mental. Whatever type of advantage you're leveraging, it pisses me off. Okay? And a hunger for power and attention, exactly. And even though we're talking about the return of Big Evil, I've went by many names before in my 36 years of living. I've been called the voice of the voiceless. I've been called the guy that stands up for people that's too scared to stand up for themselves. I've been the guy that, in the wise words of CM Punk, dropped pipe bombs because people was too scared to stand up for themselves. If you want to rile me up, put me in a situation where I could witness someone getting taken advantage of. And that will rile me up 100% of the time. There's no miss with that. Put me in a situation where I see someone's getting taken advantage of or bullied. 100% rile me up. And no, I don't have to know the person. I've stood up for people before in the streaming community. I have 2 videos standing up for people I don't know because it's that big of a pet peeve of mine. I don't like people getting taken advantage of. I don't like getting taken advantage of. I know how it feels to get taken advantage of. So I don't want people getting taken advantage of. If there's anything I can do with my videos or anything that I'm trying to get across with my videos, is I'm trying to share my life experiences so others don't have to go through it. That's the point of my videos. This is why I do my podcasts. Other people may do their podcasts so they can get known. Other people may do their podcasts so they can make partner or affiliate or whatever. The point of my videos is so people can know that they're not alone in whatever situation they may have gone through. I'm only 36, but I've been through a lot of shit. Okay? So whatever anyone may be going through, Borakaira, Guac, anyone that's lurking, I don't know you and you don't know me. Okay? But I'm not a hard person to find. I stream on YouTube, I stream on Twitch, I stream on Twitter. My name is the same across all platforms. You might have to throw an underscore in between vibrant and truth on some of them, but my name is the same on every platform. If anyone needs to reach out or needs someone to talk to, I'm here to talk. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I have the answers and I have all the advice you need, but I'm definitely going to be here to listen. And if I don't know what to say or how to make you feel better about a situation or how to ease your mind or ease your heart, I'm going to be honest and tell you, listen, you can vent all you want until you feel better, but I don't know what to say to you about this. I don't have the answer for the situation. But you could talk until you feel better. That's how I've always been. That's how I'm going to continue to be. Even if I'm in my big evil state of mind, even if I'm me. Everyone needs someone to talk to. Everyone needs that person that's going to listen and not judge them. I'm lucky enough to have found a few of those, right? Redbeard, Traylon, blackout. Even though he's not in here, I think he's probably asleep. A guy named Ice Murder. He streams and everything. Lucky enough to found those guys. I can go to them and talk to them and not feel judged and not feel afraid to tell them what I'm feeling or what I'm going through, or you know, if I'm just having an off day, or if I'm down, or if I'm depressed, right? And speaking of down and depressed, I'm noticing and seeing that a lot of men is hurting, right? But they won't talk about it. They're embarrassed to talk about it. They don't feel like they need to talk about it. Um, I'm here to tell you, I was one of those guys for a little while. Recently, I just felt like, you know, men are human too. We have feelings. We need people to talk to. We need people that can understand us. We have to let off steam too, right? And I feel like a lot of the insecurities from men venting or saying they're hurt or getting emotional stems from upbringing. But past the upbringing, once we become adults, once we become men, right? It's society and the women that's in society right now that extends that insecurity about expressing feelings, right? Because you get women that say, I don't want no man that cries just as much as me. I don't want no man that's just emotional as me. So then you say, okay, well, if I tell her I'm not having a good day, or I'm feeling, depressed, or I'm sad, or I'm down, that's going to be an issue. So I suffer in silence. I think you and I talked about this briefly before, Redbeard, in another video. 89% of suicides is males. What do you think people who carry a bully personality, always acts out of aggression because they try to portray a character, but then message the same people they piss off and complain about why they aren't succeeding? Yeah, that's true. Um, what do I think about it? Um, what I think about it is, here's the thing, right? I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to my vibrant truth roots and drop a name, right? So let's take, and before I go on with this is gonna piss some people off if they're big into streaming and they watch big streamers. But hey, the show is called Vibrant Truth. I welcome opinions, I welcome people's thoughts. But let's take Nick Merckx, for example, right? This guy I have seen talk so much shit to some of his chatters, right? And like some of the shit he said was borderline disrespectful. But yet somehow this guy still gets supporters. This guy is still famous. This guy is still popping. Like, I've watched several streams of him call some of his chatters stupid or just degrade them in some way, shape, or form. He's never gotten reported. He's never gotten a strike, to my knowledge. He's never gotten taken down. So, with that mentality, Redbeard, I think comes when people get too big or people start succeeding at something and they start to feel untouchable. they get this godlike complex. And then when it's done to them or they see someone else doing it, they want to complain and say, hey, that's not right. That's not this. That's not that. But you're doing the same thing. So I feel in today's society, at least, I feel like the bully mentality comes when people start getting really successful. And I personally feel like, hey, everyone should be held to the same standards, right? It doesn't matter if you're a normal streamer, if you're a partner, if you're an affiliate, everyone should be held to the same standard. Just because you average 23K viewers a stream, like, it shouldn't be no difference. We can only be as strong for so long before we crack and break down. Gotta have people in our lives that are willing to listen as we vent. The problem is they aren't successful like Nick Merckx. They are trying to duplicate it. True, 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 true. Yep, I've seen a few people trying to get there, and I actually use some of the same insults he's used, and they've gotten reported, they've gotten banned, they've gotten But I was saying that to say this: a lot of people that's give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, my son's acting up. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, Everybody, beard, best piece of advice I've ever gotten from streaming was be me. Don't try to be like the big streamers, Tim, Nick, Mooks, etc. As far as personality goes. Well, yeah, that's good advice. I mean, that's part of the reason why I was afraid to stream, right? Because for those that's popped in on me from time to time knows that I started streaming from a PlayStation 4, right? Those were my streams from a PlayStation 4 in my bedroom doing baseball, I believe. Doing baseball, I believe, right? So to go from streaming in my bedroom off a PS4 to PC to doing podcasts, it's it's kind of a blessing, right? Like I said before, I don't know if my videos help anyone. I hope they do, but that's the point of me making these videos, right? I was told when I first started these videos, you shouldn't get too personal because in the case that you do get big, in the case that you do become really successful at this, and you do become a partner somewhere or anything like that, some people can come back and use these videos against you. And I told that person, well, if that's their intent, then that's their intent. I don't say nothing in my videos against anybody except my family. And I don't degrade anyone that comes into my chat. I don't degrade anyone in the streaming community. I don't degrade any content creators or any such thing. Right? But if you need to be called out, you're going to get called out. And I believe I've only done 2 call out videos, right? And we've seen what happened with the first call out video. And then the second call out video, the server shut down altogether. So basically, I am the voice of the voiceless. Because to shut down a server that had about 220 people, right? You're a very honest and open podcaster. The only people who will try some stupid shit is those who don't like honesty. That's true. To have a server with 250 people on it and one video that was an hour, no, that one was 3 hours long. To have one video that was 3 hours long shut down a whole server. That goes to tell you I hit some chords, right? That goes to show you that I spoke some truth. That goes to show you that the person that owned that server had no fucking idea what they was doing. And I'll tell you what, the owner of the server was actually in the podcast. And he still shut the server down 2 days after the podcast. I don't think it's that people don't like honesty. I think it's more that they can't handle being told the truth. Yep. 100%. 100%. And here's my thing, right? Even as friends, I feel like you should be able to be honest with your friends and it not hold no repercussions of losing a friendship. So if you notice my tone changed, that's because I'm getting ready to wind down the video and everything. But that podcast and the Fate podcast were some of the best podcasts I've ever seen, and I listened to a lot of different podcasts. Well, a lot of people say those podcasts they really enjoy. I enjoyed them to an extent, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I enjoyed them, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't enjoy them. Excuse me. I enjoy them because it brings light to the shady shit that goes on in the RP community, right? It brings light to things that people don't even realize is going on, right? So once I start the video and people start to file in and I start talking and everything I'm saying is backed with facts or someone corroborating what I'm saying, then they're like, oh shit, you know what? That is happening. Yeah, I have noticed that. And then everyone else starts coming in because they tell other people, hey, come watch this podcast. Like, he's talking about our server. Like, he's speaking some truth. So then it opens everyone's eyes to how greedy a server owner could be, or how sneaky the staff can be, or how two-faced the things are going. Now, what I don't enjoy about that is it does shed light on the shady shit. And it can shut down the server, just like Dream life. It can make people step away from something they say they love doing, right? My intent is never to take away from people, but people should know the fucked up shit that's going on behind the scenes. No one should be lured into a city under false pretenses. Now, like I said, I average like 6 to 7 viewers per podcast outside of doing the podcast on servers, right? And that's fine with me. I will not change what I podcast about, who I podcast about, just to gain more viewers. My favorite thing is when these city owners are like, we got screenshots about blah, blah, blah. And when you ask for them, they say, you know what I'm talking about, so I don't have to show shit. Yeah, yeah. We've been through that a time or two. But here's my thing though. When other people show screenshots and the server owners or the administration gets put on their ass by these screenshots, they want to backpedal. Well, I don't have screenshots, but I have the transcripts. Okay. So take screenshots of the transcripts and show it. It's just like people don't understand that when I do videos on them, I'm never flying in blind. Let's take Dream Life, for example. I've had several people coming to me for weeks. This is happening, that's happening. I noticed this, I noticed that. Anthony this, Anthony that, Anthony this. I have it all logged, right? I keep it all logged. And then once Eric gets fed up with it, then the video comes. Because here's my thing. I can listen to other people that I don't know all day, right? But I don't want to do a video that's going to put heat on people that I'm cool with. So as long as the people in the server that I'm cool with is happy, I keep my mouth shut. But once the people that I'm cool with starts coming to me and say, this is bullshit, blah, 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 yada, 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 then the video comes, right? Because at that point, they're already fed up. So they already have one foot out the door if they didn't completely leave already. So if they have one foot out the door or they already left, there's no point in me keeping my mouth shut no more. I'm going to shed light to the bullshit that's going on. That's what I do. I bring shit that's done in the dark to light. Even for me. Like I said, when I first started these videos was about me and what I was going through in my personal life. And I took accountability for a lot of the shit that I did. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I am saying she's more imperfect than I am. But, like I said, I take responsibility for the shit I've done. Right? If everyone uses the word accountability effectively, situations would be a whole lot better, right? You can't expect the person to apologize to you and you not take accountability for what you did in that situation, because every action has a reaction. So it's very rare that someone's going to do something to offend you or do something against you if you didn't do nothing to them first. So before you point the finger and say you need to say sorry, you need to sit and think about the situation and say, well, what the fuck did I do to make this person do this, or to make this person do that, or to make this person feel this, or to make this person feel that? It's all about accountability on both sides. I had an issue with that in the past. You would never get me to say I was wrong in anything. Why? Because I never felt like I was wrong. But it takes self-reflection, and it takes maturity to realize that you're not perfect either and you're going to make mistakes. So I have a question for chat, right? Mainly for Redbeard and Traylon, but anyone else could answer if they want. Has anybody ever heard of the word equanimity? And do you know what it means? Blackout, do you know? All right, so equanimity. Equanimity is sort of, it's not 100% in that religion, but it's derived from that religion. So equanimity is a branch off from Buddhism, right? It's the practice of calming your mind, your body, and your spirit. Last few weeks, I've been practicing it, and I gotta tell you, it works wonders, right? So basically, it can be anything you want it to be, right? You can make up your own mantra, your own affirmations to yourself, right? It's basically like deep breathing meditation. And you do this 2 to 3 times a day, right? Especially when you're in stressful situations or something stressing you out, or you feel yourself getting worked up, right? Find a quiet place, take a couple of deep breaths, close your eyes, recite your mantra to yourself a few times. It works, you know? I mean, like I told you last night, Redbeard, like things just got crazy for no reason with her. But being that I'm practicing equanimity, she gets upset for different reasons now. More so like I don't engage, right? I'm more of trying to diffuse the situation, or I just let her say whatever she needs to say or whatever, and I just sit there, you know? I recite my mantra to myself, I breathe. When she disappears, I meditate. It's 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 a pretty good technique, especially if you have high blood pressure, if you have a bad temper, or you know shit like that. Like, it really works. And like, after 2 or 3 weeks of practicing it, you'll start noticing that shit that used to bug you before, you're just like, what happens happens. It's gonna happen. There's no point in getting mad about it. Like, it fucking works. Like, I thought it was bullshit, but it works. It's something you have to stick with and really work at. um, we can actually talk about that on stream, Traylon. So, basically, I don't think I told Blackout the whole story. I'm gonna end this on YouTube because yeah. So boom.